specifically as a player, we know that he loves to pull off those crazy plays with the flicker, right? So with him having this farce in his hand, you're going to expect that too. Yeah. Whereas still, even when you lock in this Eve here, you want to be able to build upon the utility mindset for this match, right? You want to be able to do that. But again, you're complementing it with the Yuzhong pick, which we have said in this series specifically, or even throughout the tournament, it's been crucial for a lot of these teams' success.
Yeah, and honestly, if we're talking about success, we have to talk about supports because, again, nobody has revealed their supports, and they've just mirrored each other the entire way. I was thinking maybe Karina might get picked up early, or just maybe some foreshadowing, but Echo, immediately take it off. I'm expecting another assassin. There could be a chance that even Lolita might get banned off inside of Echo once more, so it denies RRQ a way to disengage from fights.
Or maybe a Martis as well, because those are the heroes that Albert really like to play. You kind of want to have a sustained hero here if you're RRQ Hoshi. Surely the Yuzhong will be eventually tanky, but you're gonna have to have a frontline so that both Eve as well as the Matrix will have great positioning. That's also the reason why they banned out the Cho here, because they don't want Yaoi to have a hero that can go to the backlines. There's the Barrett's ban. Are we looking for a Ling pick for RRQ?
Yo, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that RRQ are telling, yo, Cartesi, show up. You have a skin around you. We want an assassin.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at the quote here, and that might be the story, right? Carl Teasy, I think we're the best team. I'm a team player right now, so I don't care about the stats or MVP. I've been there. He's been there, he's done that, right? Carl Teasy on the best jungler for M4. So even though that's the case, oh, good solid last ban, by the way. Ziggy's taken out. There's the Grok.
I mean,
come on, Echo. Give it to him. Give it to your boy.
It's Atlas to go with, okay, are we seeing like Hayabusa or Ling this time? Coming up from Echo.
You come on. I'm so excited here. I can't wait to see Cartesi on an assassin. He showed up big time. He's been there, like the quote says, during M2. If he locks in Lancelot here and wins this game on his own skin, that is just, beautiful. Ow.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, he's kind of like a ninja, right? I mean, a guy, depending on what lore story or skin you lock in, right? So they lock it in. On the other side, though, Albert will be picking up the Hayabusa.
And it's, once again, it's the Dragon Warrior against Tai Lung once more. I mean, it's frustrating to see because I really wanted to see Cartesi bring it to RRQ in the assassin department against Albert of all people. But yeah, as the boy says, he's such a team player.
Yeah, I know. He did. He transitioned into that.
On that point, right, that's what makes these teams so scary is because you've had either... A lot of the times it was the junglers carrying teams, right? But teams that either play for their jungler or their jungler plays for their team, that's a big thing here. So this is kind of a different, I guess, for a lot of people that have been following Carl Teasy specifically, they might want him to play assassins, but if this is what he feels like is the best for Echo's success, then that's what's gonna be played, right? So, but is it going to be able to compare against Albert in the jungle on the Hayabusa? We've seen amazing things before, but let's load up into game number 3. It's 1-1 in the series. Who edges ahead here?
Oh man, if you're looking at the choice of Albert, right, going for Hayabusa, surely it's great. Like, we're excited to see that. We want to see Albert being activated as assassin, but man, Atlas, Akai, Lapu Lapu, man, it's difficult to play a squishy hero if you're RRQ Hoshi. There's so much control and so much damage that can come out from those heroes.
Not only that, Wolf, but with an Atlas across view, when do you usually see no purifies from the other team?
Yeah,
that could be deadly.
That is a big observation here. Vin already getting stunned up. I'm surprised that Vin doesn't flicker it out just yet, but yes, there we go. He gets out of the tough situation. And, you know, coming back to that Atlas, I think we've seen many, many times, and in a couple of international competitions last year, that Atlas has really turned over some games in the later stages.
Yeah, definitely. And this time you have what? Heavy Spin as well as the Fatal Links. You can like switch between the two, or what you will use as your first in when it comes to your initiation, right? What do you use first? You can use like Heavy Spin first so that the Atlas will have a better ultimate afterwards, or maybe use it afterwards. So the Echo composition is really backing on the damage output of both Farsa and Bandicuti, and they have the tools to make that work.
Well, I think on top of that, you know, if you are playing this Atlas, if Clay can find the death box positioning in the right moment at the right time, then you can use that to your advantage, right? You are now forcing Echo wherever they decide to respond and set up with the Fatal Links, then hey, you can go ahead and set up that box and hopefully profit off of that, especially with Brock here for Vin, right? We've seen it before, it can happen, but right now they've got to kind of check those boxes, and with the first turtle of the game coming up, Yaoi's not level 4 yet, so you're going to see this kind of unfold here.
Yep, furious dive coming in from R7. He's right on top of Kaltizi, forcing him to use his ultimate as soon as possible. And even Sanji really high up there with the feathered airstrike. Kaltizi all by himself in R7 will find first blood. And here comes Yaoi getting into the middle of it, finds 3. But Sanji, he gets 1 already. Vin is so low, but they cannot get it. And now R7 with a double kill in the bag.
Great exchange from both teams. Echo starting with Sanford poking the Hayabusa, putting him low, forcing the Quad Shadow. But then again, Echo was forced to utilize Kaltizi's ultimate far too early. The reset was there for RRQ, and then of course damage coming up from Clay's ultimate afterwards. Fortunately for Echo, they have Yaoi's ultimate available there. He got level 4 just in time to pop the flicker and the Fatal Links onto 3 members of RRQ. Then Sanji dealing the damage. In the end though, RRQ still gets the turtle.
Wait, does he know? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he saw Yaoi actually walk between brush to brush here, but he's going to open it up, sees Vin, backs away. Skylar, once again, just needs to maintain control, but Benny QT has been doing such a good job. He's looking for the trade, and now he might get the solo kill. Almost towards it. One more auto attack would have procced and would have gotten the kill.
Great response from Skylar there, not to go down. They don't want to give that advantage to either of these gold laners, right? They're going to be battling it out here. And we know, again, how scary carry can be, especially if you get those kills. But Yaoi, going to be the focus, gets out of here just fine. Still, again, RRQ holding on to a very minuscule gold lead. But, I mean, objectively, they're where they want to be, right? Yeah. Continue this up, farm up, and just keep responding, putting pressure around the map.
And Skylar not flickering right at the get-go. It allowed him to also force the flicker onto Benikuti. And the reason why he felt very tanky up until the end is because of the fact that the outer turret energy shields in the gold lane provide 30% damage reduction. And Skylar forcing another flicker and not dying kind of means that the bottom lane is still equalized.
I'm more surprised you weren't freaking out that Sanji was about to die there. He gets, I mean, overall, Albert is putting quite a bit of pressure, and I would argue is even opening up a map to open up the map to a certain degree. But let's see down bot side, Tier 1, the shields are getting farmed off for the time being, but Echo, as we mentioned before, just wants to focus on the farm.
Yeah, I'm still wondering too, you know, the fact that there is no Purifies here for RRQ. If they're just going to completely rely on their reaction time, right, to get out of danger or to have that, basically, I like to call it the athletic flicker out of those bad areas, right? Because, yes, if Yaoi holds on to it,
oh, wait, Zephyr! He actually flies clean. He's going to get this kill, but no, the real one manipulation gives him a shield. He ends up dying regardless. Feathered airstrike now putting R7 out of this fight. Black Dragon form in the middle of it. Is he really willing to play with death? Shaw Residue already propped with Sanji focus forward, but Blackline now in trouble. Kartizi ends up dying. One shadow into the shadow kill by Albert. He's still alive. Vin, what can he do? Forced the flicker out of there. 2-for-1 trade in favor of Echo.
Oh, man, Echo. That was against Sanford opening up the backlines. Previously, in the first turtle fight, it was against Albert, but this time it was against Clay. Even after the flicker coming out from Clay, we know the one-shot potential coming out from the Lapu Lapu to take out the Eve. Eventually, the follow-up from Yaoi allowed for Echo to win the battle afterwards. Unfortunately, though, Albert was still very good with the retribution.
All right, let's pull this back for a moment here, because I'm trying to figure out where Echo is going to eventually plan their attack on their map. It feels like they're playing defensive, right? Yaoi's opened up the map, but then how does Kaltizi make this play?
Well, I guess that what they are waiting for is to at least equalize when it comes to the turtle fight, then activate Benikuti. So to answer your question, later on, around 8 minutes time, when you can have Benikuti deal the damage with 3 items, that is where you strike. Until this point, Echo, everybody's just buying time.
I'm holding you to that 8 minutes on the dot.
Yeah, we'll see if Wolf predicts that correctly, right? And the curse doesn't affect him here. But still, going back to the point, I mean, if Benikuti can just farm up, great thing, right? That's exactly what he wants to do. Him and Skylar, same scenario, right? None of them have gone down. You see, though, how much of time is actually put on the gold lane for both these teams. You guys mentioned this in the draft. If you can have someone babysit the lane, great. Now, it's a little bit different because Diggy's not constantly there, but still, even Yaoi's paying attention to that lane, trying to give any upper hand possible to their gold laner is the best thing that could happen for both of these teams, because even, yes, there's what, 200 gold there. It really doesn't mean much for RRQ, but they have the objectives, right? If they can get this next turtle in about, what, 10 seconds, then that's great for Albert, and the squad can transition into the Lord takes and really set themselves up for success here. Echo, though, knowing all of that, Sanji having 2 kills early on, the burst damage is going to be there. So as long as RRQ can avoid that burst coming out from Echo, Sanford with the setups like this.
Oh, I mean, Sanford, he wants it, but the fact is he's got no ult now, and now Albert might have a free kill in his hands. He's walking up Black Dragon form as well. Wall charge doesn't connect, but there we go. Albert secures it. R7 now in some trouble. Smarties, he pushes him out of position, and now in a 2v1, R7's lead is just enough, but on the bottom side, almost soul kill. Skylar's baiting him into it, and now Albert is going to secure the kill.
Oh, he got it.
Now that's just disrespectful.
Okay.
Skylar was just being disrespectful. You put respect on Benny's name.
Skylar, I would have really commended what he did because he baited Benny Cutie in there. The TPs were uncalled for though. Because
you want a TP?
Yeah, there wasn't any escape anymore. Unfortunately, Skylar, that's 100 he already did 100 level play, but then he went down because of those TPs. However, though, I want to say, RRQ Hoshi, great understanding of how to take turtle number 3. What they did was to stay in the bottom bush, in a right side bush in the middle, I mean, and then it was only R7 who showed himself to Sanford. After Sanford already committed the bravest fighter onto the Yuzhong, that's when they strike.
Oh, Kaltisi in some trouble now. Skylar, he lands it. Oh, he's so low, but he's still alive. Sanford with the bravest warrior already in the middle of it. He has to get on out there. Sanji's trying to help him out, but Yaoi might be able to find 2. No, only 2. As real one manipulation comes up, they get the kill onto Skylar once again, but they traded kill back, so that's going to be support for gold laner.
That's a good trade right here, but still a lot of unfolded there, a lot of ultimates and resources expended, but still RRQ holding on to a little bit of lead. 1.6k. Wolf, how's it looking in terms of items?
Okay, so we're looking at Skylar just picking up all the important items like Blade of Desire eventually into his second damage item, but he needs a Wind of Nature. Now that's also true with this Benny Cutie carry. So far, we know that they wanted to activate it at 8 minutes, right? So they did. Yaoi was able to find an opening to the backlines, and that is one thing that RRQ should be respecting.
Oh, again, and it looks like a repeat of history, but Yaoi this time doesn't even go for that engage, and it feels like to me that Skylar is a little desperate after his little mishap down on the bottom side.
Yeah, he wants the kill there. He did pick up the Malefic Roar, so that damage is going to be there even more so now. You know, even though he's got the 2 assists, he wants those kills because he does know as well that Benny Cutie is going to be scaling up, especially past this game.
Oh no, play. He gets pulled back, but it really doesn't matter. He flickers on backwards. His R7 is there to cover his back. Nicely done. The teamwork from RRQ to deny the initial engage.
Great teamwork coming up for RRQ, like I said. And this means that they might have the better control of the first Lord of the game. What are they doing right now? What they should be doing right now is to control the lanes first before they engage onto the first Lord dance. So they're using Skylar up to the top lane, bottom lane already pushed out. Mid lane should be answered by R7 or maybe Clay in here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be up to how RRQ is going to control this Lord.
Well, let's see how they're going to, because bot side is already stacked up with a full wave. That tier 2 might be in some trouble, and RRQ don't mind leaving this B. Orange buff being taken away by Hayabusa, but the rest of Echo, how are they responding to it? Tier 2 is already down. They can still let this bleed even more, but now they're going to force the issue. Sanford's walking back into the fight. Conceal coming out from Vin. He's going to take the long way around. Yaoi is looking for an opportunity. Albert might be in some trouble. Quad Shadow's out of there, but on the opposite side, here we go. R7 jumping into the middle of that fight. Bravest Warrior forcing Sanford out, but now he flippers right on top of Clay. He's down. Benny Cutie's in trouble. Skylar might have to take the 1v1. The Quad Shadow's already down, and the Shadow kill isn't enough. Albert still alive, trying to get on out there, but Sanford's chasing him down. Yuzhong is dead, and that's going to be a 3-for-nothing trade in favor of Echo.
And even the Lord belongs to Echo. What a great play from their side. RRQ Hoshi, they tried to go for the conceal play from the bottom. They wanted to tag Sanford. Unfortunately, that left both Clay and Skylar exposed to Yaoi. Yaoi didn't find the first jump, however. As you saw, RRQ, they still managed to get away from there, but their position was already compromised. Albert was too far when the Lord was put on to low. And you see Echo, despite losing the first 3 turtles, just control the Lord dance much better than they did RRQ.
Not only that, but I mean, even that team fight, you saw how much pressure there was from Echo that Skylar actually didn't have the opportunity to get in the positioning he wanted to. He had the defensive flicker out, and now they're dealing with this siege coming out from Echo. They still have the Lord also on the bottom side to work with. They're going to lose more turrets here and have to be forced to pretty much defend in their base. Conceal play comes out, just getting a check here. But the big thing for RRQ, they do have Clay. Their defense, their high ground defense should be pretty good, at least to this point. It's only 12 minutes in the game. Lord is even at half health here. So let's see how this one plays out.
Yep, Finn already using his conceal. He's in the
has
middle of
Flicker.
everybody. Oh, well, let's see. He finds one. And now the Feather Airstrike in combination. Petrify onto Benny QT. R7 trying his best. He's in the middle of the fight, but nobody can support him. Albert finds one. Contisi is dead. And now they're looking for his second as they find the Bravest Warrior next. And now with it all, Albert still lands it. But it's absolute monster, snipes it from halfway underneath the inhibitor turret.
That deserves the Dave sheesh, because he has been waiting for that moment in this game. Skylar finally gets it, and that's a massive successful defense from RRQ.
This word doesn't exist, but I'm gonna use it. So many sheeshable moments out there. As you saw Yaoi with a jump, right? You saw this as flicker, but look at that combination of Clay and Vin. Guardian's barrier with a diamond-shaped box, and then eventually Skylar just sniping Benny Cutie. My goodness,
That was clean.
that's the word, sheeshable.
Good lord, Scott. Oh man, I don't know. These Beatrix players are disgustingly good. Well, a little too good for my taste here. I want to go back to some of that basic stuff. I feel bad about myself now.
Well, I mean, at this point, they've turned it around. RRQ, they had to defend the high ground. They did. Yes, they lost a couple turrets, but they profited off of it, right? I mean, they have that defense. They get a couple members of Echo down, and now you can see that, right? With that swing, that pendulum swing, momentum in their favor, they just have to be cautious with the setups from Yaoi. That's the biggest thing here. The next Lord is going to be up. RRQ is in a good position to actually take this one, and Echo knows it.
How about that? There's Sanji and Yaoi up top through a bush. You have to be careful about this, and RRQ doesn't have vision of that. Skylar already utilizing this this Brenner. That's the make sure that they scout out additional members. And I think that RRQ has a little bit of the same idea. They want to control the outside bushes, like the Lord Dance. Look at them. The Lord only has 2 heroes, and everybody's just dispersed.
Look at that. They're waiting for that conceal play. They got Benny Cutie there on the top side. Carl TZ still going to bounce this Lord around here, keeping everyone, RRQ on the hunt. They're trying to figure out where the other members are. Lord half health, here comes the conceal.
Yep, Yaoi's coming in. R7's already looking to engage Clay once again. Is this a repeat of history? No, they back off. Now the real one manipulation wall charge as well. Already hitting 2, falling into Randall's apathy. It's all over now. As now they try to jump in. Zephyr turns around, finds Skylar as well as Finn. They push through. Benny finds it again, taking out Clay. A triple kill, absolutely shredding through them. But now they're chasing them down. How many can they find? Echo is looking for some as much value as possible, but R7 tries to turn it around, but it doesn't matter. Benny QT hasn't even used his Winds of Nature and flickers for it. 4 for 2 so far.
Benny Cutie, the hurricane of Echo. You saw how it was activated in that fight. They utilized Yaoi as well as Sanji from topside with a concealed play, and it's almost a repeat of history. But then again, after Clay already utilized his ultimate, and then Albert is no longer a threat to the carry. That's when he was able to rise to the occasion. He found 3 members of RRQ, and the Lord Dance was perfect from Echo, especially because Call DC won the Retribution battle against Albert. My God, that was the disaster for RRQ Hoshi because of Benny Cutie's calamity.
Not only that, but the fact that they waited patiently for the conceal play, and now it's again RRQ on the defense.
Yep, Contisi in trouble here. Oh no, Clay's in trouble. He can't do much about it. He doesn't have any family. Yaoi finds it, and now they have a double kill. Zephyr cleans it up. They're going to be ending this. Echo takes game number 3. GG. Well played.
Benny gets his eyes on the crystal, and he doesn't hold back. He goes right for it. Bring in Echo to 2-1 in the series. It's match point.
Oh, What a game this
What
is.
a game.
It's such back and forth,
Now-
like RRQ break even, then Echo break even, and then Echo finally put the killing blow in.
It's a tug of war at that point, right? Everybody's holding on and equally giving the same amount of strike. But Echo found the opening, and once they found out RQ's chick in the armor, when RQ just let go of a little bit of the grip, they found the win in the tug of war.
Tug of war it be, but RRQ was in good position until that last play we saw unfold, the conceal. We knew what was happening. Benny Cutie made his way up there.